Last night for New Year's Eve, me in the year 2013 went out to the club. It was one of those nights, you gotta go out. It's New Year's, you start drinking, the music's pounding, it starts getting to you, right? You start feeling in the groove. You actually start to dance, which is something I don't do easily, I was really there. I was really having a good time. So we both started talking to a nice pair of tall, reasonably drunk, well-proportioned Jewish sisters. It seemed like things were moving in a, let me say, productive fashion. Then around the 10th shot I took, things started getting a little hazy. I couldn't really be sure of whether or not music was actually playing, or whether or not it was my eardrum thumping onto the side of my brain. You start getting there, right? I couldn't really be sure if I was even in the real world anymore, because things started looking like it was PlayStation 3 graphics. I don't really know what happened to the Jewish sisters or how I got home. I don't think deals were sealed. I don't feel like I accomplished much, sexually. But I do know when I woke up this morning, 2013 was dead. And I was covered in, well, let's not go into any details, because, my lawyer has advised me probably not even to tell this story, but whatever. I trust you guys. So, I'm not admitting anything, I didn't think it was best to involve the police or 2013's family, so I did what I usually do in this situation, and I buried him in the backyard next to 2012, who, died under, actually, he died in much the same way, now that I think about it. As a matter of fact, this has to be the 23rd year I've had to bury in my backyard. I'm getting older. Maybe I should, settle down, and stop stop losing friends this way. Luckily, however, there is a baby 2014 who is sleeping nicely in his crib. And hopefully he's gonna prove to be a much better year and a better friend, and not steal Rachel from me when he already had Leah. We decided on this, you piece of shit! Ugh. God damn it. Anyway, here's the list of the 10 worst movies I saw in 2013. Number 10, Gangster Squad. A movie that felt like it was written by 7 different people, working on 7 different continents, none of whom knew about each other or cared about making an authentic crime movie. Trailers promised a hard-boiled and serious crime thriller, and my god were those lies, because instead we got an intensely stupid waste of an excellent cast, who spent most of the movie exchanging awful dialogue and shooting things in the dumbest fashion imaginable. Theoretically, Gangster Squad was delayed into January because they had to remove a key scene thanks to wanting to avoid controversy over the Aurora, Colorado shooting, but I'm pretty sure that was just an excuse, because the reality is that Gangster Squad was a January release, and like all January releases, it boiled up out of the sewer and just as quickly oozed back down the drain. Number 9 is a tie. This is the remake of Carrie and the remake of Evil Dead. It was a really tough call deciding which one of these would make it on the list, and ultimately I decided, fuck it, put them both there. They're both horror remakes, they're both soulless commercial products, pounding down and ruining what once were great horror movies. I'm sorry, horror remakes need to stop. There's no excuse for these things to exist. Stop doing it. Number 8 is The Lone Ranger. Do you want to be miserable? Go see The Lone Ranger. Do you want to lose $190 million on an obvious flop? Go be Disney and make The Lone Ranger. It mocks and disrespects its own source material, which might have offended somebody, if not for the fact that the Lone Ranger's entire fan base is in a retirement home. Johnny Depp's Tonto is an embarrassingly racist concoction, and simply not funny on any level. Worse, this bloated disaster was about 3 hours long, featuring a mind-boggling reel of plot threads. And for what? What was all this work for? Why are we even bothering? Number 7, To the Wonder. It's a Terrence Malick movie. That's it. Number 6, Machete Kills. Machete Kills is utterly awful on every objective level. But It pretends that it can get away with it because, oh, it was supposed to be bad. Robert Rodriguez cannot hide behind any excuse for such a dull, plotting movie made with zero talent or care. This is asylum level of a production, as amateurish and lazy as filmmaking ever gets. It transcends irony into the more simple fact. There's a very simple category that Machete Kills fits into. Terrible. As a director and filmmaker, Robert Rodriguez should be ashamed. Hell, I'm ashamed just for having seen it. Do not make another Machete movie, please. Number 5. Only God Forgives. Okay, I'm going to describe Only God Forgives for about a second now. Ryan Gosling stares at the camera for a few hours. Other characters stare at the camera. Ryan Gosling's mom is a bitch. There's an angry Thai cop. Ryan Gosling's mom complains that her son's dick is too small. Ryan Gosling sees his mother's corpse and reaches in to touch her womb. Ryan Gosling is constantly being emasculated and gets his hands chopped off at the end. This is student film level of metaphors. And if it weren't for the unparalleled cinematography, this might have actually been at the very bottom of the list, because it is a gorgeous movie despite all of that. But I'm going to be honest, I've seen more clever metaphors in porn movies, and at least there, the characters acted like people. Number 4. Man of Steel. Something is truly terribly wrong with America if Man of Steel is what we do to our greatest superhero icon. A movie so bad that it retroactively turns Superman's Return into a classic. And Superman Returns is only a classic for one reason. It's not Man of Steel. Superman has always been a symbol of America's greatest hopes and dreams. He is the invincible and immaculate savior, leading the world forward. He's our fantasy of our place on the international stage. So what Man of Steel is, it's the Vietnam War. It killed our delusions about our purity. It killed Superman, frankly. It's just wrong. There are no characters to be found of any weight or worth. The script is a muddled mess. Stealing Batman Begins pacing and structure for no good reason. The action climax goes on for so long and is so pointlessly violent that I think the movie gave me post-traumatic stress disorder. Zack Snyder raped Superman in front of us all in the ruins of 9/11. He raped Superman on 9/11. That's Man of Steel. Number 3, The Host. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one. Unlike some others on this list, The Host was so stupid, so badly made, that it managed to transcend merely bad into a wonderful dazzlement of joyful filmmaking. It was joy. I sat down with my head in my hands, with this innocent, childlike sense of magic, watching directors and screenwriters absolutely destroy their own movie. Saoirse Ronan is a great actress, a powerhouse of charisma, who explodes just by having her face on the screen. She's that good. Her voiceover persona, on the other hand, is a teenage bitch. That's it. And it's wonderful! The juxtaposition of Ronan's serene physical acting and her whiny, ew, you're kissing him with my lips! Ew, you don't kiss him with my lips! Ew! Disembodied narration. That's the disembodied narration. Is the funniest disaster of movie making you'll see all year. I am going to miss Stephenie Meyer because nobody makes shit like she does. And really, I put this movie so high up on the list to give myself a little oasis of joy. Because bad stuff is coming now. Really bad stuff. Number 2. A Good Day to Die Hard. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Die Hard is one of the most respected movies of this generation, really. It's a movie everybody loves. It's a Christmas movie. It's an action movie. It's a movie about America, an American cowboy beating up Germans. What more could you want? A Good Day to Die Hard is a movie that feels like it was made by Eastern Europeans, non-English speaking Eastern Europeans, living within some gray People's Republic. who saw the original Die Hard on bootleg VHS, that somehow managed to get the funding to make their own fan sequel, even though they had no comprehension of what the original movie was about. They had no comprehension of movie pacing, and really had no creative ideas at all. And then, mystically, managed to get Bruce Willis, the real John McClane, to star in their movie. A Good Day to Die Hard is horribly depressing. It's just sad. All the energy is gone. Bruce Willis himself mopes through the movie, weakly trying to keep up the John McClane banter. The action scenes are so preposterous and ridiculous that all the tension is gone entirely. Then the main conflict isn't against any brilliant European supervillain, but rather John McClane yelling at his son. It is awful by any standard. It is the end of Die Hard. It cannot continue. It is over. And this movie killed it. But still, it's not the worst movie of the year. Oh, no, it's not. Let's just stop here. Come on. We could stop here. That's good enough. You're happy with this, right? You're good, right? We don't need to go much further, do we? Can we just stop? Fuck! Number 1 is Pain and Gain. Oh, ooh, 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 oh. Michael fucking Bay. Why did I deserve Michael Bay? What did I do to get Michael Bay as my punishment? Please save me from Michael Bay. Pain and Gain is theoretically based on a true story, though I refuse to believe that in this world there walks creatures as wretched and terrible as the homunculi Michael Bay conjured together to fill the ranks of his cinematic holodomor known as Pain and Gain. It's as though Bay created a pocket dimension within which he could fill all of the leftover grotesques and comic reliefs he could not find room for in his horrible collection of awful blockbusters. This is a movie basically starring Bernie Mac from Transformers 1. It's that level of characters. This is a movie about shrunken testicles. It's a movie about a factory full of dildos. It's a movie about Marky Mark being a bully to small children. It's a movie about big, fat, stupid people laughing at bad jokes. It's a movie about a long and honestly disturbing and just really, really sad torture of Tony Shalhoub. Everybody is stupid. Everybody is shrill. Everybody is a slut. Everybody is miserable and awful. And this is how Michael Bay views his audience. This isn't a movie based on reality. It's a movie based on a filmmaker's own interpretation of the world around him. You know why he keeps making Transformers movies? Do you know why somebody would unleash products like that onto the market? Because this is who he thinks we are. Pain and Gain is who he sees America as being. There is a point where cynicism reaches psychopathy, and that's Pain and Gain. And combine all that with Michael Bay's own frenetic, awful film style where the camera just can't stay still. It's constantly cutting for no good reason whatsoever. And the film is not only emotionally revolting, but visually nauseating. And I still don't think I managed to get the point across. I still don't think I managed to explain properly how bad Pain and Gain is. So I'm going to have to describe a scene. And I'm describing it because do not see this movie under any circumstances. There's no good reason to go see Pain and Gain. Alright? I'm sure there were bad movies to come out in 2013, some really bad movies. There's Grown Ups 2, there's Movie 43, there's all kinds of shit. But I have not seen them because I didn't want to see bad movies. And I don't want you to see Pain and Gain, alright? I don't want you to do it. So I'm going to describe this scene right now. Okay. Black guy goes into a urologist's office. He's complaining about testicular problems. There's a fat white nurse talking to him, and she says, "Oh, he's got real balls for coming in." Then he whines, "They're the size of raisins." And the fat white nurse then comments, "Chocolate-covered raisins." And she sticks out her tongue, 'cause it's a moment of instinctual sluttiness. You know, this is a doctor's office, and she's sticking out her tongue. She's getting horny over this patient. Do you get it? Do you get the joke? Because fat chicks are horny and hungry. And because black guys like fat white women. And because pain and gain makes the entire human race look like regurgitated slime, an evolutionary mistake. And Michael Bay is enough of a stupid middle school bully to think that he's superior to everybody who's ever been just because he's the biggest asshole, because he talks the loudest, because he makes the dumbest movies. That makes him king of the pile. And at that point, I knew I was staring at oblivion, an empty black hole of hatred and misery, reconfigured into what was supposedly a comedy. Pain and Gain is a movie that hates everybody and everything. God help me. I watched the whole thing to the end, and I am so sorry I bothered. Why? I should have just walked out. Nobody really commented on the review either that I wrote. What was my compensation for watching this intellectual famine? For all the brain cells that died because of this hideous movie? Nothing. That's what I got. I got nothing. And that's how Michael Bay would like it. Pain and Gain is the worst movie of the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2013. And may I never have to see a movie as bad as that ever again.